welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to be talking about meal planning for the week and meal planning in a way that we're excited for the meals that we're gonna cook this week. We are realistic about the amount of time that we can spend in the kitchen, and then we stack our meals in a way to minimize the amount of food waste by utilizing all of our leftovers as quickly as possible. So I have created this meal plan guide for you, and it has the Sunday through Saturday, and then each day we've got each of our meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then space for snacks, cocktails, desserts, and this space you might change it to be like 3 different snacks that you want in the day or whatnot, but there's just some space set aside there for those extra meal times that aren't the traditional breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then down at the bottom is an open space for leftover ingredients. You will notice also after each meal, there's a prompt for will there be leftovers for this meal or not. And so I've really designed this in a way to help us keep thinking throughout the week, what is going to be left over, what can I utilize throughout the week, so that it's not just something we think about once when we're cleaning out the fridge, maybe before we go on our next grocery shop. By planning ahead and planning to use up all of our ingredients, we can reduce our food waste, and we'll see that impact back in our wallet too. So there is a link below if you want to snag your meal plan guide, and you can edit that PDF right on your computer, or you can print it out and use it old school style. So with our meal plan guide in front of us, what are some other things that we want to consider as we are planning our meal for the week? So number 1 can be, what days am I gonna have more time to spend in the kitchen, and will I want to spend in the kitchen? And what other days may I not have as much time as I would like, and I want to find some convenience foods to fill in for those meals. So convenience foods can be many different things. So it could be frozen meals from the grocery store. It could be pre-made fresh meals from the grocery store. It could be takeout from your favorite restaurant. It could also be frozen meals that you already have in your freezer. So maybe a couple weeks ago you made a big casserole and you didn't eat it all, so you froze the leftovers, and you have those close at hand. So whenever you're thinking about convenience foods, it's not a one-size-fits-all. There's a lot of different options there. You can also consider a convenience food as something that takes like 3 steps or less to put together. Could be your version of a convenience food. So whenever you are looking at your week of meal planning, you might want to note at the top the days when you're gonna want to incorporate more convenience foods. Also, I like putting a big star or circling the date or writing a note for the day that I plan to order my groceries from Chef It. That way we know kind of the start time of when our ingredients will be the freshest, and then we can plan from that day on as far as utilizing up some of those leftover parts and pieces. Next, we're going to fill in each day, each meal, what we would like to enjoy. And if you have multiple people in your household, you may have a different meal plan for each person, or you could separate the day into a couple parts for each person if breakfasts and lunches might be very different. So if thinking about which meals do I want to make tends to be a stopping point for you, I have another video that you can watch about how to plan a meal. So this goes through building a meal from start to finish, utilizing different proteins or inspiration from around the world, along with our own sensations of taste and texture, to build a unique meal that you're gonna really enjoy. And even in that, we talk about utilizing leftover ingredients. So check it out if you want some more guidance or ideas about how to plan each meal. So once you have decided which meals you want to make, then you can go to your week and fit in where you want each of these meals to lie. And then with the will there be meal leftovers prompt within each meal, you can plan ahead for, oh, I've made this meal many times, I know we always have leftovers, and it can help you to think ahead and say, oh, that's going to be enough leftovers for me to take for lunch tomorrow. Or that's going to be enough leftovers maybe for us all to have dinner, the same dinner tomorrow. Also, sometimes what can happen, let's say you have a family of 6, and Monday you cook a meal and you have like 2 servings of leftovers and you don't want to take it for lunch the next day. And then Tuesday, maybe you cook a different meal and you have another 3 servings of leftovers. Same thing on Thursday. Maybe you cook a meal and you have a few servings of leftovers, but not a full 6. Well, maybe on Friday, you can kind of just plan in like a leftovers meal. Everyone go in the fridge, grab the leftovers that you want. Different people in the family may be eating different things, but it's a great way to eat up those leftovers that you maybe don't have full enough servings to feed the whole family. So I call this perspective of planning your week of meals really thinking about where those leftovers are going to happen as following the leftovers. So you can follow those leftovers and plug in a lot of different meals throughout the week. And then instead of this whole blank page that can maybe feel intimidating when you think, I have so much food that I need to figure out, popping in those leftovers and then looking for the gaps can make it a lot more manageable and make you even that much more excited about the week of meals ahead. If you're somebody who loves to cook but struggles with not finding enough time in the day to cook, but you still want to enjoy a lot of home-cooked meals, another suggestion I have for you are big batch meals. Closer to when you have gotten your groceries, you can cook a meal that is going to be something you can eat on for a while. And oftentimes I like to suggest cooking meals that you can use as a base and then each day maybe add a little bit of a different element so that it feels a little bit new and fresh. So what is an example of this to kind of put it in practice a little bit better? You can make chicken and vegetable soup. So one day you just eat that soup as is. And then maybe the next day you can boil some noodles and add it into your bowl of soup. That way it feels more like a chicken noodle soup. Another day you can take just the chicken and veggies, leave the broth in the bowl, and you could mix that into a fried rice. Another day you can again skim that chicken and veggies away from the broth, toss those in a sauce as you're reheating them, and then maybe serve them with a side of beans and a salad. So you have done the bulk of the cooking for that chicken and vegetable meal in one day, and then subsequent days you can add a little element that won't take very long, usually 10 to 15 minutes for each of these adjustments, and it can still feel like you are eating a different meal. Another great benefit from following the leftovers is as you're planning your week of meals, you may realize that there will be a meal that will create leftovers and you won't have time to eat it up. And so in that case, you can decide, is this a meal that I enjoy after it has been frozen and thawed? And if so, go ahead and that day pack it up, pop it in the freezer. That way it's ready for you later on whenever you want to enjoy it again. If it's something that maybe you've tried freezing and thawing before and you just aren't a fan of it, you could consider taking those leftovers and sharing them with a close family member or someone who you know would enjoy that. That way that meal doesn't sit in your fridge and go bad and nobody gets to enjoy it, but you get to share a part of your heart and a part of your joy for cooking with someone you love. So with this meal plan guide, step 1 is figure out when you're gonna get your groceries. Step 2 would be to figure out how much time you have with each day and identify where you want convenience foods in your meal plan for the week. Step 3 would be identifying where you will have time to cook meals and then which meals you want those to be. Step 4 will be looking ahead to see where those meal leftovers can be used up. And step 5 is going to be thinking about, within each of those meals, what ingredient leftovers might you have? So if you're planning to make lasagna and you know, I never use all of the ricotta that I buy, then we have these little prompts at the bottom, leftover ingredients. And so you can write ricotta in there knowing ahead of time, okay, I'm gonna have leftover ricotta, so could I make ricotta pancakes on Saturday morning maybe? Or is there a ricotta dessert that I might want to make at some point during the week? So there may be ingredients like that you ahead of time already know you're going to have some extras of. And then as you are cooking, you will probably realize that you have some other leftover ingredients that maybe you hadn't anticipated. And so as you go through the week, you can continue adding those into your leftover ingredient spots on the bottom of the meal plan guide. Some of those you may say, oh, I'll just eat that as a snack. Not a problem. There may be others that you want to put in the freezer right away. And there could be some that you feel like, I have no idea what to do with this to use it up. I know it's not gonna last longer than a week or two. And this just puts it in, the front of your mind of, this is an ingredient I need to think about using up. So, you can ask around friends and family and do your Pinterest searches if you want. Also, you can come to Chef It. This is one of my favorite parts of helping you chefeteers. I love whenever you come to me saying, I have leftover bok choy and I just don't know what I'm going to use it for, and I don't want it to sit there and rot. And so I'll ask you, what are some other ingredients that you have on hand, and then we can talk about your food preferences, and we can come up with a meal that works for you, that you're gonna have some fun cooking and really enjoy eating it. So please know that is always an option. Reach out to us here at Chef It, and we would love to help create a unique meal for you and utilize those leftovers and reduce your food waste. Another great way to utilize leftover ingredients is in a catch-all meal. These catch-all meals are recipes that are very flexible in the ingredients you use. So you can swap out a lot of different vegetables, maybe different cooked meat options. If you are vegetarian or vegan, you can swap out mushrooms or soy or impossible meats, whatever you enjoy. But I do like recommending these catch-all meals because, one, people can find a creative way to use up leftovers, and two, every time you make it, it can be a little bit different, and so it keeps it really fresh and fun. So I hope that you can use these 5 steps to help you meal plan for the week quickly, efficiently, and in a way that's really gonna get you excited for the week to come. If you like to meal plan and then go one step forward and meal prep so that you can try and front load that work and then put meals together a little bit more quickly later on, I have another video here about meal prepping like a line cook. This video includes examples of how to take what line cooks do in prepping for, crazy busy dinner service, how we can relate those to our at-home food prep in ways in which we can free up some more time to pursue our heart's passions and find more joy in the kitchen. Thank you so much, Chefeteers, for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you soon.